Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and as you can probably see we've got a nice nighttime Tilly behind me there, and well, I suppose really I better flip the camera around and give you a general boat life update. So standing at the front of the boat looking back towards the back door there, you can see we've now got the sofa bed back on board. If you've been following my life on board Tilly in all the other videos, then you'll know that I did take that off and keep one of the cushions as a bed, but replace this with two small chairs in the top area here. I decided finally that I would fetch it back, as I've really underutilised all of the storage space I made in the top end there. This is currently my test setup for having a little desk. I'll get like a proper desk that's cut in to fit with all the shape there. And well, once I realised that I could use that and then create another little storage space with a cupboard on that other side, I thought, hang on a minute, I can have the sofa bed back, still have proper room and a proper desk for me writing, and, well, have just a more substantial bed. And as I said, which people seem to enjoy in a Facebook comment when asked about why the sofa bed was back, say there's all sorts of reasons as just mentioned, but also, of course, I don't spend every night alone. So if we move away from that subject very quickly, you can see out of the window there it is incredibly dark. It's looking a lot lighter actually because of the reflection on the window, and well, it still doesn't look as dark as it actually does. But this is once again the 1st of November. This is 5 PM and well, the winter's here now. The clocks have already gone back last weekend, and well, I just hope that we're ready to settle in for some good old fashioned winter, batten down the hatches, get ready for rain on the old tin roof there. And well, more importantly, and as I always say, let's get the fire going. Take the kettle off the top there, and if I can actually find it with the camera, oh, absolutely beautiful, fair play. What a sight, and what an awful lot of heat to put out as well, so I think I will just take that down a notch now. And well, here's the moment for you. Boat going through at night. Lovely. Oh, and a holiday boat too by the looks of it. So then folks, I suppose, for the first time in a long time, I can have a camera up there facing across at me here sat on the sofa bed, and well, just generally talk at you for a bit. First of all, I'd like to say, I hope that you appreciate the lighting here. If I look at my face on the camera now, I can see that I'm looking a little bit washed out, but I've got the light on above me, and then to light us up a little bit more so it's not so dark, I have got a torch to that side and a torch to that side, angled perfectly from the floor and from the very far end of the boat, to hopefully give a nice neutral light. There's a lot more goes on behind the scenes in these videos than you might think. So anyway, yes, here we are, 1st of November. This is technically the start of winter on the canals. It's the first day of winter mooring, and the rules have all changed this time round, but I will do a proper video on that and talk about those in greater detail, as it ties in with all sorts of ideas and the conspiracy theory, which I will elaborate on at a future date. But yes, I've got me winter mooring, hopefully for the next 5 months. I'm, well, in my usual sort of way, just tooting along, going about my business, but obviously now we've got to think far more towards winter. You saw in the previous video cutting the wood and that sort of stuff, just generally building up the stock. I've got my eye on a good supply of wood not far from here, but also you can imagine this time around how many people have been saying to members of my family or to me, "Oh, I've got some wood in the garden for you. Oh, I've saved a bit of wood for you." And I'm not joking, just from 2 separate people, and not even including the enormous Manning wood stockpile, which, well, I'm sure you've seen Manning pop up on videos every now and then. I've probably got enough wood now to last beyond Christmas, and I've got a good supply of only £8 for a 20-kilogram bag of smokeless coal from a shop not far from here, so that's excellent. And I mean, a couple of those bags and all the wood that I've been given is going to last way beyond the Christmas, so I'm all happy on that front. The rain has certainly set in over the last few days, and it's certainly reminded me just what this is all about. I don't know if you can hear any of the bird noises or the rain hitting the roof outside. But well, like I've said before, it's all about just making sure that you've got enough wood on board to last you a good few weeks. So if you do go through a good period of rain like this, when all of the wood that's naturally around here is completely soaked and all of the areas muddy, it means if you've got enough wood to last you a couple of weeks, you haven't got to get out in all of that and just generally have the unpleasant, damp, wet, cold task of collecting and cutting wood in these conditions. So that I'm happy at the moment. Touch wood that the situation stays the same, and also let's hope for a little bit of drier weather. Don't want last year's 4 months of endless rain. And well, really, it's just a case now of making sure, like you say, as the nights are getting colder. A couple of nights ago we very nearly had the first frost. I think there was a little bit in town, and it's just a case now of I've got to get some antifreeze in the engine, and generally if I think I'm not going to be on the boat for a couple of days, if it's predicting ice or something like that, and I might stop at me mum's house overnight between work, and so I don't have to ride out in the country lanes if they're frozen and then bike back in at 7 in the morning the next day and that sort of stuff, then it's things like making sure that the taps are drained and putting the water pump off so that hopefully you won't come back to any burst pipes. And well, as I say, keep the fire topped up. Something that I do like with putting all this fire and having a proper roaring fire, I don't know if I've ever put it on video before, but every time you hear the fire pop or crackle and burst, well, not burst, if you are looking from outside, which I will show you a clip in just a second, then a load of little hot embers and just sort of perfect glowing orange smouldering embers float up the chimney and through the cowl, and well, in fact, let's just have a look at it now. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that I really just enjoy when I'm stood out on the back, if I'm, I don't know, just out there generally enjoying the clear sky when it's nice and cold at night or anything like that. And well, you can imagine you've got that perfect sort of fires roaring inside and crackling away. You can step up out there, have a look at the stars, get the telescope out maybe, and if you're just literally on the towpath at the side of the boat, and you just have that little like sort of smell of burning wood in the air, that now that I'm in town and I'm seeing other people's chimneys smoking in proper houses and you can smell the wood smell, it's just like, oh, that's it, that's the cosy home boat smell that I've become used to. And I mean, if you just look back to the boat and you'll see like the curtains all lit up from inside and just the odd little ember coming out of the chimney, it is the perfect traditional life scene. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it as usual. No surprises there. I'm getting a good lot of progress done on writing the follow-up to The Narrowboat Lad, and I'm also keeping, well, in fact, it could well be in here. Ah, yes. You may have seen some of the other videos I've been doing of all my obsessive notebooks and all that sort of stuff, but I'm also currently keeping a diary over this winter, which may or may not. I've got a little one here, which is filled with all sorts of bits and pieces, but this is what we're all interested in, the Narrowboat Lad Winter Diaries. Now, depending on how this winter goes, I might be able to turn this into a book as well, but it may not be anywhere near as dramatic a winter with as many events and amusing diversions to talk about as last winter gave us. So, I mean, you might know that I do a lot of writing anyway, so I thought if I actually write something with a purpose of maybe coming back and being able to give you a proper look at life through the winter, then that would be great. But ultimately, it's just a simple thing now of trying to get as much writing done. Like you've seen how dark the nights are now. Obviously, it's terrible weather, it's cold, and it's only, well, you haven't got half the hours of daylight that you used to have not too long ago. So everything's turned into very much more indoor sort of things, like writing and well, just getting this sort of work done that I've been doing with putting the sofa bed back and then building me desk at the front, something that that's a job I can stretch out forever, and then getting another counter and storage on that side as well up there. And it is, like you say, just that sort of, it's the end of the year, it's all about getting in bed at 9 o'clock with a roaring fire and listening to podcasts through an early night, rather than hopping on my bike, biking halfway down the canal, finding a road, and then ending up doing about a 15-mile detour to get back to Tilly. And obviously the same can be said about walking. But really, I suppose it's time for me to stop wittering on at you. You've had a very quick look at what I'm currently up to. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to show you the front end of the boat and how that's all fallen into place, or just fallen apart. And well, like I always say, make sure you check out my other videos and subscribe. Make sure you like the Facebook page. Very importantly, make sure that you check out my book, The Narrowboat Lad, available for Kindle and Kindle apps, only £1.53 in the UK. Amazingly, I cannot believe it, but considering it's only been out for 4 months, we are already over 900 copies downloaded. So hopefully November could amazingly, beyond all my expectations, be the month that The Narrowboat Lad has its 1000th download. Which, once again, I mean, it's just, if you, like I've said in the previous video about getting 500,000 views, if you'd have told me by the end of the year I'd had 100 books sold, I would have been amazed and thought, God, 100 people, that's amazing that have actually read my little story about buying a boat and the fun and games that was had on that initial trip. And, well, here we are, not even December, and we could hit the 1000. So I can't thank you all enough for that. It really does mean a lot, as do all the incredible amount of messages and just general support and questions and, well, just general messages really that I've been getting on Facebook and Twitter, and the amount of comments on YouTube now is regularly hitting over 500 per month. So I apologise if it takes me longer to get back to you than it used to, but I do try and respond to everything, but there's an awful lot to respond to these days. So, without further ado, thank you very much for watching. Please, please, please make sure you subscribe, and until the next time, have a fantastic day. Farewell.